A 100 amp main circuit breaker panel located in the ceiling of a basement, positioned facing the floor and covered by a latch, but not locked, hatch door within 78 inches of the finished floor is not compliant with the National Electrical Code. The National Electrical Code Section 240.24 states that main circuit breakers must be readily accessible. Furthermore, Sections 240.24a and through 3 dictate that the clearance in front of main circuit breakers must be at least 36 inches wide and 42 inches high. In this scenario, firstly, the panel's location in the ceiling renders it not readily accessible. Secondly, the clearance in front of the panel is less than the required 36 inches wide and 42 inches high, given its proximity within 78 inches of the finished floor. This situation presents several potential hazards. In an emergency, accessing the main circuit breaker to shut off power to the house quickly could be difficult or even impossible. The close proximity to the floor increases the risk of accidental contact or damage to the panel. The latched, but unlocked, door allows unauthorized access to the panel. The recommended action is to immediately contact a licensed electrician to relocate the panel to a more appropriate location that adheres to code requirements. This ensures safety and compliance with electrical regulations. To further elaborate on the concept of accessibility, the National Electrical Code defines readily accessible as capable of being reached quickly for operation, renewal, or inspections, without requiring those to whom ready access is requisite to actions such as to use tools, to climb over or remove obstacles, or the like. Mounting a 100 amp breaker panel in the ceiling fails to meet this definition. The placement hinders quick access for emergency shutdowns, maintenance, or inspections. The clearance requirements around electrical equipment are not arbitrary. They are specifically designed to provide sufficient working space for electricians and other qualified personnel to safely perform maintenance, repairs, and inspections. These clearances minimize the risk of electrical shock and arc flash hazards. The required 36 inches of width provides enough space for a person to stand comfortably and maneuver tools and equipment. The 42 inches of height ensures adequate headroom to prevent accidental contact with energized parts. The latching, but not locking, door raises concerns about unauthorized access to the electrical panel. While a latch may deter casual entry, it does not prevent access by anyone who deliberately attempts to open the door. This poses a risk of tampering, vandalism, or accidental contact with live electrical components, especially by children or others unaware of the potential dangers. Relocating the electrical panel involves several important considerations. The new location must comply with all applicable electrical codes and regulations, including those related to accessibility, clearance, and environmental factors. The electrician will need to assess the existing wiring and determine whether it needs to be extended or replaced to reach the new location. The new location should be protected from moisture, physical damage, and other hazards that could compromise the safety or performance of the electrical panel. The electrician may recommend installing a new, larger electrical panel to accommodate future electrical needs. This is particularly important if the existing panel is already close to its maximum capacity. During the relocation process, the electrician will take precautions to de-energize the electrical panel and ensure that all wiring is properly grounded. They will also inspect the existing wiring for signs of damage or deterioration and replace any defective components. After the relocation is complete, the electrician will test the electrical panel to ensure that it is functioning properly and that all circuits are properly protected. They will also provide you with documentation, including a wiring diagram and a certificate of compliance, to verify that the work was performed in accordance with applicable electrical codes and regulations. Ignoring the violation is not recommended. Such disregard presents significant safety hazards to the occupants and the property. Addressing the problem proactively by hiring a licensed electrician is the responsible course of action. The electrician can assess the situation, perform the necessary repairs or modifications, and ensure that the electrical system is safe and compliant with all applicable codes and regulations. It is critical to understand that electrical work is inherently dangerous and should only be performed by qualified professionals who have the training, experience, and equipment to do the job safely. Attempting to perform electrical work yourself could result in serious injury or death. The purpose of the National Electrical Code (NEC) is to establish minimum safety standards for electrical installations. The NEC is not a design specification or an instruction manual, but rather a set of rules intended to protect people and property from electrical hazards. Compliance with the NEC is typically required by local building codes and regulations. Building inspectors use the NEC as a reference when evaluating electrical installations for safety and compliance. Failure to comply with the NEC can result in fines, penalties, and the denial of occupancy permits. It is important to note that the NEC is updated on a 3-year cycle to reflect advancements in technology and changes in industry best practices. It is essential to use the latest edition of the NEC when designing, installing, or inspecting electrical systems. There are many resources available to help you understand and comply with the NEC. These include the NEC Handbook, which provides detailed explanations and examples of the code requirements. It also includes training courses and workshops offered by electrical trade organizations and educational institutions. These resources can help you stay up to date on the latest changes to the NEC and ensure that your electrical work is performed safely and in compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. In addition to the NEC, there may be other applicable electrical codes and regulations at the state and local levels. These codes may be more stringent than the NEC and may address specific local conditions or concerns. It is important to check with your local building department or electrical inspector to determine which codes and regulations apply to your project. When hiring an electrician, it is essential to choose someone who is licensed, insured, and experienced in performing the type of electrical work that you need. Ask for references and check their online reviews to get an idea of their reputation and quality of work. Be sure to get a written estimate before any work begins and make sure that the estimate includes all costs, including labor, materials, and permits. It is also a good idea to ask the electrician about their warranty policy and what steps they will take to address any problems that may arise after the work is completed. Remember, electrical safety is not just the responsibility of electricians, it is the responsibility of everyone. Be aware of the potential electrical hazards in your home or workplace and take steps to minimize the risk of electrical shock and fire. Never overload electrical circuits or extension cords. Replace frayed or damaged electrical cords immediately. Test ground fault circuit interrupters (GFCIs) regularly to ensure that they are working properly. Do not use electrical appliances near water. If you have any concerns about the safety of your electrical system, consult with a qualified electrician. To further clarify, consider specific examples. Imagine a scenario where a fire starts in the basement. A homeowner needs to quickly shut off the power to prevent the fire from spreading. However, the main breaker is located in the ceiling behind a latch door. The homeowner struggles to reach the breaker, fumbling with the latch in the dark and smoke. By the time they finally manage to shut off the power, the fire has already spread significantly, causing more damage and endangering their lives. Now, let's consider a scenario where a child is playing in the basement. They accidentally touch the electrical panel, which is located within reach due to its proximity to the floor. Because the panel is not properly secured, the child is able to open the door and touch the live electrical components inside. This could result in a serious electrical shock or even death. These examples illustrate the potential consequences of having an electrical panel that is not readily accessible and does not meet clearance requirements. It is critical to address these issues promptly to protect the safety of your home and family. When assessing the location of an electrical panel, several factors should be taken into consideration. Firstly, the panel should be located in a dry, well-ventilated area that is protected from moisture and physical damage. Secondly, the panel should be located in an area that is easily accessible in case of an emergency. Thirdly, the panel should be located in an area that is free from obstructions and provides adequate working space for electricians and other qualified personnel. Fourthly, the panel should be located in an area that is not exposed to flammable materials or hazardous substances. The height of the electrical panel is also an important consideration. The National Electrical Code specifies that the top of the highest breaker in the panel should not be more than 6 feet 7 inches above the finished floor or working platform. This ensures that the breakers are easily accessible to people of average height. The location of the electrical panel should also be taken into consideration in relation to other building systems. For example, the panel should not be located near plumbing lines or HVAC equipment that could leak or cause condensation. The panel should also be located away from areas where it could be exposed to vibration or impact. In addition to the location and height of the electrical panel, the type of panel is also an important consideration. There are two main types of electrical panels: circuit breaker panels and fuse panels. Circuit breaker panels are more common in modern homes because they are safer and more convenient than fuse panels. Circuit breakers are designed to automatically trip and interrupt the flow of electricity in the event of an overload or short circuit. This helps to prevent electrical fires and protect electrical equipment from damage. Fuse panels use fuses to protect electrical circuits. Fuses are designed to melt and break the circuit in the event of an overload or short circuit. However, fuses can be less reliable than circuit breakers and may not always trip quickly enough to prevent damage. When replacing an existing electrical panel, it is important to choose a panel that is the correct size for your electrical needs. The size of the panel is determined by the number of circuits that you need and the amount of power that you will be using. A licensed electrician can help you determine the correct size panel for your home or business. In addition to the electrical panel itself, the wiring and grounding system are also important components of a safe and reliable electrical system. The wiring must be properly sized and insulated to prevent overheating and short circuits. The grounding system must be properly installed to provide path for fault current to flow back to the source in the event of a ground fault. The grounding system helps to protect people from electrical shock and prevent damage to electrical equipment. Regular inspections and maintenance are essential to ensure the safety and reliability of your electrical system. It is recommended to have your electrical system inspected by a licensed electrician every 3 to 5 years. During an inspection, the electrician will check the electrical panel, wiring, grounding system, and other components for signs of damage or deterioration. They will also test the circuit breakers and GFCIs to ensure that they are working properly. The electrician can also provide recommendations for upgrades or repairs to improve the safety and efficiency of your electrical system. If you notice any problems with your electrical system, such as flickering lights, burning smells, or sparking outlets, contact a licensed electrician immediately. Do not attempt to repair electrical problems yourself, as this could be dangerous. A licensed electrician has the training, experience, and equipment to diagnose and repair electrical problems safely and effectively.